Hi everyone, welcome back. This is our second video of our look into the EBSCO databases. Last week we covered the menus at the top, and this week we're going to look at the search box and continue on from there. Let's take a look. We're starting today with the homepage of the Business Abstracts database, which is one of the many EBSCO-owned databases that we have. This homepage is going to be the same homepage layout for each one of these 50-plus EBSCO databases. And this Business Abstracts database is just an example. Let's focus first on the search bar. If you want to just type in a search term and click search, you can do that too. You'll usually still find relevant results, but you'll also likely find a great many that are entirely irrelevant. We'll go over all of the search options to narrow down the results in just a bit. Right above the search bar, we have the name of the database, and its full name is Business Abstracts with Full Text, H.W. Wilson. After that, there is a link that says Choose Databases. We're not going to go into this. This just offers a list of other EBSCO databases available. The vast majority of these databases can be found on our library's database page, and it's easier to find what you need on that page, so we won't look into this link here. Let's continue. Directly below the search bar, we have a small selection of options. As we can see, Basic Search right here is not colored blue right now, so we know that's what we're on presently. Search Options controls all this that you see down here. You can click to hide it, or click it again to show it. Next is Advanced Search and the Search History. Let's explore the rest of this basic search before we move on. In the Search Options section, the first option is Search Modes under Search Modes and Expanders. Here, we have several more options. If you're familiar with Boolean operators and using them in a search, you can click this first option to use those. However, you also have the options of Find All of My Search Terms, which means this database will make sure the results it lists have every word that you type into the search bar. Find Any of My Search Terms means it will display results that have at least one of your search terms, so that may be a much broader search. Finally, you have Smart Text Searching, which, according to the information we see if we click on Hint right next to it, allows you to type in as much as you want, which can be a phrase or a sentence or even an entire page worth of text. And this database is going to try to figure out what you want based on that, even if it's not the most precise way of searching. In addition to the search modes options here, we also have 3 checkboxes over to the right. Apply related words, also search within the full text of the articles, and apply equivalent subjects. As the names of these options suggest, you can search for related terms along with whatever you put into the search. You can also have the database search through the entire text of the available articles rather than just the abstract, which is like a summary of the article. We'll see an example later, but keep in mind that the default is to have this option unchecked, so you will not be searching the full text unless you check this option. Finally, Apply Equivalent Subjects is automatically checked, which means when you search, it will also search for subjects that EBSCO has determined are the same as what you have put into the search bar. Below this is the Limit Your Results section, which helps specify what you see when you conduct a search. First, we have the words full text and a checkbox by it. The search results we see for these EBSCO databases are not necessarily all going to be full articles or the full text. Sometimes you're just going to get the information about the document but not the document itself. If you click this checkbox for full text, however, what you get in your results will include only results that are the full article. But by default, it is not checked. So we'll see a mix of full text and non-full text results. Directly below the full text option is Publication, which lets you type in the publication you want to search if you already know which publication or journal you want. In the last video, we briefly looked at ABA Bank Marketing when we were taking a look at the Publications section. That's just one example of the many publication names that you could type into this box. If we were to begin typing in the publication name, it's not going to give you any suggestions, so be sure to type in the name correctly. Below is publication type, and we have multiple. We have all, of course, if you don't want to select anything in particular. Below it, we have academic journal, periodical, review, and trade publication. If you know which type you want, for example, if you want to find an article from a periodical, such as a magazine, you can click on periodical. If you want to select more than one, you can hold down your Control or Command key on your keyboard and click the ones you want. To deselect, you can just click on anything at random. Right below publication type is ISSN, which is an even more specific way of looking up a publication. Again, in the last video, we saw where a publication's ISSN can be found when we were looking at the Publications section. If you have the ISSN number of a specific publication you want to search, you can type that in here. Let's move on. Next, to the right-hand side, we have a checkbox with scholarly or peer-reviewed journals. If for whatever reason you only want journals and articles that have been reviewed by their respective academic communities, you can click this checkbox to see only those. Below, there's an option to put in a date range for the results by month and year. Just below it, we have document type, which has more options than publication type. Keep in mind that you can have different document types in a single publication type, so document type is a more specific way to limit a search. Here, we have quite a few options, and the list goes on for a while. Finally, the last item is a checkbox with PDF full text. We already had a full text option over here, but not all of the full text results are stored as a PDF. Some will just be displayed as text on a screen, but not as a separate PDF document. To see only results with full text PDF files, you can click on this checkbox. Really quickly, all the way at the bottom here, I just want to mention that you can entirely ignore this texture label here. This is just a group of databases that our library subscribes to, and this doesn't give you any more options or resources. Also, these links below, right here, aren't really relevant unless you want to read technical information about EBSCO itself, but I won't be covering that. Let's scroll back up. Once you've typed in your search terms into the search bar and selected all of your search options down below, you are not going to click on the green search. Instead, you're going to scroll down and click on the yellowish search option that's right here. If you click on the green one, it's just going to search with your words. It's not going to take any of your search options here. If you want to undo anything that you've clicked in the search options section, just click Reset, and it will refresh your page back to the default. Now that we've covered the basic search with search options, let's now click on Advanced Search. As we can see, the Advanced Search section isn't all too different from the basic search with search options. In fact, all of the search options down here are the same, except this one checkbox, Master File for Children. However, when I try to search using that option, I didn't receive children's articles, so I wouldn't rely on this. Scrolling back up, we see that the differences between the basic search with search options and this advanced search are all right here. However, we still have a main search bar, and we still have the green search button. Here to the right, though, we have Select a Field. This is optional, and you can go ahead and put any terms you want into the search bar without selecting anything else and just click Search. But if you want your search to be more specific, you can select a field to specify what exactly you're putting into the search bar. Let's click on it. As we can see, we have a number of options. The most broad option we have here is TX, all text fields. The TX is just an abbreviation for this option of all text fields. We also have TI, title, AU, author personal, CA, author corporate, PD, physical description, SU, subject, AB, abstract, IC, NAICS code or description, SI, for the SIC code or description, LA, language, IS, ISSN, SO for journal name, PZ for document type, SK for works, RT, books reviewed, CU, court cases, and AN, ascension number. You can select from any of these, but only one of these. So if we want to search for something with the title Internet Marketing, we're going to click on TI title. Then here in the search box, we're going to type Internet Marketing. But let's also say we know the author's last name is Matthew. To put that information in, we won't be using the same search box. Instead, we're going to go to the second box and type in Matthew. And then over here and select a field, we're going to go down until we see AU, author personal, and click on that. We're choosing author personal rather than author corporate because we know that this is an individual person rather than a company. You may continue adding fields by pressing the plus here, but you can also remove them by clicking the minus. It doesn't matter how many of these search boxes you have. As long as you haven't typed anything into them, they're not going to affect your search. We're going to keep it as we have it, and then click Search. And from the results, we see we've been given an article with Internet Marketing in the title and an author with the last name of Matthew. I know this page is very busy, especially on the sides here, but we're not going to worry about that right now. This was an example of a very specific search, and you don't necessarily have to do it this way. We can search broadly for subjects or titles without specifying further. Keep in mind that up here in the advanced search area, you can change the Boolean operators here to or and not if you don't want to keep it on and. Right now, because we have and selected, we have a title with the words Internet Marketing and an author whose surname is Matthew. But if we wanted, we could have Internet Marketing or Matthew, which would give us more results because we're looking for either Internet Marketing or Matthew. If we chose not, we would be searching Internet Marketing without Matthew, which would also change our results. Let's move on now to search history, which has popped up right below the search boxes and before our results. If you don't see it or you want to hide it, you can just click on search history here and it will remove it. Let's click on it again. We have a few options here near the top of the search history section. We have the option to print the search history. We also have retrieve searches and retrieve alerts, which are searches and alerts saved to an EBSCO account. Because this isn't really an account that we're logged into right now, don't worry about those. Also, you can save searches or alerts, but as I mentioned in the last video, it won't save the searches past your session. Below, you can select or deselect all of your searches. In this case, we have 2, so we could just click the 2 boxes to check it, but this is a convenient button if you have a lot of searches. Once you've made a selection, you can click Search with and, Search with or Delete Searches. The Delete Searches option is pretty straightforward. If we click on one and click Delete Searches, we'll confirm and say that we would like to continue deleting it, and we're left with 1. Searches with and search with or are a bit tricky. I'm going to click Search with or for Search 1 or S1 so we can see what it does. So let's click on the checkbox and click Search with or. Let's take a look at what this did. Keep in mind that we still had Internet Marketing and Matthew up here in the search when we clicked this option to search with or. Note that it does not change the and that kept Internet Marketing and Matthew together. Instead, it took those words that I had in the search box and added search 1 to it by joining it with an or. Let's try that again so you can see how it changes when we put something different into the search box. Let's go up here and delete all this. Just type in trains. Now, with trains in the search box, we're going to select S1 again and click on Search with or. Now, our third search is trains or search 1. And if we scroll down, we see that our results match. We have that sole result from our search 1, which was the article with Internet Marketing and Matthew for an author. But looking further down, the rest of the results have something to do with trains. Let's scroll back up and let's finish looking at the search history options before we move on. Next, we have search options right here, which just explains that we can use expanders and search modes back in the search to change what results we see. We saw all of those near the beginning of this video. Next, we have 3 different actions for each. We have View Results, View Details, and Edit. View Results is helpful when you have a long search history because all this does, when you click on it, is just scroll you down to the start of the results. But because we only have 3 searches, that's not very far. Also, the number of results that our search produced is listed right here. For this one, it was much broader because we had trains or search 1, so we had over 15,000 results. However, for our original search of title, internet marketing, and author Matthew, we just had that one result. Next is View Details, which, when we click, just tells us what database we're in right now. And of course, that's the Business Abstracts database. You can also edit the search, which, when we click on this, gives you a pop-up version of the basic search. Let's close this. Let's click up here on Search History again to close it. Today we covered the basic search, the advanced search, and search history, as well as all of the options in each, and we're going to stop here. In the next video, we'll be looking over the results page, which is what we see down here, and moving forward. Thanks again for watching. Next week, we're going to continue from where we left off and keep going. See you next time. Bye.